The most recent episode of Retirement for Life podcast called Stop Contributing to Your 401k has been getting a lot of attention. In case you missed it, the premise of that episode, and in my strong opinion, the U.S. government debt is escalating out of control. And as a result, higher taxes in the future are all but certain. And the traditional idea of just pumping money into your tax deferred 401k has gone from being a pretty good savings tool in the past to one of the worst moves you can potentially make for your retirement. I'm Christian Cyr, CPA and CFP, and I started my firm in 1999, helping retirees and those nearing retirement. In this short video, I'm going to clarify what you can do to help yourself and your retirement save potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I'll give you an easy to follow sequence that you can use. So this is going to be helpful whether you are a younger person, maybe just getting started, or days away from retirement, or even if you are in retirement. Let's get started. I have been an advocate of these strategies for a long time. Everyone's situation is different, so I'm going to be talking a lot of generalities today, but there is a reason why these ideas are starting to come to the forefront of retirement planning. I'll show you why. In the first 237 years of existence of the United States, the debt to GDP ratio was under 100%, except for like a small period in World War II, okay? Anything over 100% is bad. This is the gauge of a financially, fiscally responsible country. And in the last 10 years, all of a sudden, as you can see, that has changed because we started going over the 100% mark. Frankly, in the last 5 years, in my opinion, the United States has become outright negligent, okay? This is why all of a sudden you really have to think about contributing to your 401k in the same way, because everything, as you can see, has changed. In episode 25, I showed that we spent over $1.8 trillion more last fiscal year than what we took in as a country. We spent $1.8 trillion more, okay? That is not sustainable. This year, the Biden administration released a new budget, which is now the largest in history, okay? Even worse than last year. This is not a political commentary. It's not a political statement. Both parties are to blame. I'm just stating the facts, and it's a real problem because it's a huge problem. It impacts not only us as Americans, but the global economy. You realize that the US dollar is the world's reserve currency, okay? And right now, that ratio, not only is it over 100%, it's at 123% and climbing. Once we get to 150%, we are done. If you don't believe me, ask the country of Greece, the country of Argentina. Once they went over the 150% mark, they were done, okay? What does this have to do with your retirement and your 401k? I'll show you, okay? We have to fix this problem. There's just no way out of it. There are possible outcomes, 3 of them to be exact, and I don't like option number 1. Option 1 to solve this problem is that our elected officials, our country, just keep ignoring this problem. And if that happens, as I explained, because of the ramifications of the country, the US dollar, the global economy, I would say that we ignore this problem any further. We are no longer talking about retirement. We're no longer talking about your 401k because the US dollar is going to be devalued or even worthless, okay? We're actually talking, if we ignore this problem, we're talking about how well did you prepare for doomsday. I want to say that that's not going to happen. I want to say we're Americans and we're going to fix this problem. We always do. So really, there's only one of 2 outcomes. One way to fix this problem is to cut $2 trillion of expenses out of the federal budget. This is literally going to take an act of Congress. And as I said and explained in the podcast, it's just not going to happen, okay? We have this thing called filibuster, supermajority, where it actually takes 60% of the Senate vote to make major changes like this. And as I explained, Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, Mr. Trump, they are certainly going to give their best effort. But frankly, if you read the smart people, it's just not going to happen. So that means there's literally only one way that we are going to fix this debt problem, and it is going to be a 33% permanent increase in taxes, okay? And as I explained in my podcast, a 33% increase in taxes, oh my gosh, they can't do that. They can, because we were there 40 years ago. Go back and look at the podcast or do your own research. We've been there and we're going back. I'm curious to hear what you think, what your comments are. Do you think we're going to ignore this problem as a country? Or do you think somehow miraculously we're going to cut $2 trillion out of the budget? Keep in mind what's in that budget: Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. Um, there's just nowhere to cut $2 trillion out of the budget. And so therefore, my personal opinion is that taxes are going to go up. I want to hear what you have to think. But now we are talking about your 401k, right? We're talking about increased taxes. We are talking now about your retirement. And I'm going to show you how you can avoid future tax hikes and help boost your retirement no matter what age you are. You can implement these strategies whether you are 30 years old or 60 years old. I tend to work with retirees who have saved up a large amount of money in their 401k, okay? And even for them, it's not too late to avoid this looming tax problem, which is ahead of them. In the example I showed in the podcast, this particular couple that I showed was able to get their retirement into the 0% tax bracket for the majority of their life. And so they're in a position where if they hear taxes go up, they literally don't care, okay? They're done paying taxes for the rest of their life for the most part. And what they hand over to their children also is going to be relatively income tax free. So to fix your retirement, the general idea is to pay taxes as soon as possible, which flies in the face of traditional retirement advice, okay? Most of us have been taught over the years, brainwashed into avoiding taxes, right? And that seems like a good idea until we hit required minimum distribution age. And that is where we really start to see problems, okay? And just like most of Americans are getting the Social Security decision wrong, they are now actually getting the 401k thing wrong as well. I want you to look at these two buckets, okay? At the top is the traditional tax approach, okay? That's the traditional tax deferred balances. This is where trillions and trillions of dollars of retirement money in America is right now in this top bucket. Here, you're putting your money into a tax deferred account like your traditional 401k or perhaps a traditional IRA. This is like the I want to pay taxes later, and this is what everyone is doing or has done. But I personally am never putting another dollar of my money, my retirement money, into this top bucket ever again because it is now becoming a ticking tax time bomb because it's growing. We haven't paid taxes on it. We're putting more money into it. It's growing. We're putting more money into it, and we're not using it as much as we need to because sometimes we turn on Social Security, sometimes we have a pension, sometimes we have these other sources of income. And do you want to take money out of your 401k and pay taxes on it? No. So we just let it grow. Again, then you turn 75 and your required minimum distribution, as I show in my episode for this particular couple, was $180,000. They were forced to take out of their 401k. And of course, 35% of that goes to Uncle Sam. So I do want to say one thing. It's true. If you are putting money into this top bucket, it does save you some taxes today, right? So like a few $1,000s of taxes. And every year you can save $2,000 or $3,000. But at what cost? Because if you watch this channel, you know that putting your money up here in this 401k is going to end up costing you hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes in your retirement. Most people don't even know how much that is. I show people this sometimes when they first visit our office or they first make an appointment, and they are just astonished at how much money they're going to cost. And that's not even if taxes go up more, which I said possibly could happen, right? So you can get these taxes paid now, improve your retirement and your overall net worth. I'm seeing this to be effective on a daily basis with retirees I'm working with. As I said at the beginning, everyone's situation is different. The people I'm working with are seeing real large savings. So the idea is to get your money into this bottom bucket, the tax-free bucket. Here, you're paying taxes now. Nobody likes to pay taxes now, so you're going to pay some taxes now. These ideas, this tax-free bucket on the bottom, usually they have the word Roth associated with them, right? There's different type of Roth accounts, and we're not going to get into the details of this today, but here are the solutions that you should really consider for your retirement savings. Again, regardless if you are a day away from retirement or if you're just getting started working. Yes, I did say at the beginning of this video, these are just examples. Make sure everything is going to depend on your age, your income, your tax situation, and your overall savings. Now, I don't want you to do something just because you watched a YouTube video, okay? The things I'm about to show you are, in my opinion, highly advisable, but let's be clear. Get a professional, look at your specific situation before you jump into anything, okay? Okay, solving the tax problem due to the high debt that we are going to see in the future and increasing taxes. As I said, these steps should be done ASAP. As always, talk to your tax advisor. This is the order of how you should do things. This is real retirement planning. This is the latest, and I'm going to give it to you here today. First of all, this step one is you putting money into your retirement. This step two is you putting, again, money into your retirement. This is fixing the problem, which we'll talk to later. This is not you putting money into your retirement. This is you basically fixing the problem, okay? We'll talk about that in a second. Now, let's say, for example, you are putting in $25,000 into your retirement this year, okay? And you determine that's what maybe you and your spouse can afford. Where does this go? It goes into each one of these buckets in this order. Now, what's this first bucket? Okay, this is your free money, okay? Free money. What is this? This is your employer saying, hey, if you put $1 into the retirement account, I too, as the employer, are going to put $1 into the account. We have to maximize this. So no matter what your retirement plan is, whether it's a tax-friendly, like a Roth retirement plan or not, the very first dollars that you need to take advantage are the match, because free money is free money. So let's say that you figure out your employer with the match, you're going to put in $5,000 of this $25,000 into the match. Whether it's a good Roth account or not, you're going to do that. Now you still have $20,000 left, and this is the order that you'll do that, okay? You'll first, if you have a Roth retirement plan, okay, like a Roth 401k, any type of Roth option at your employer, you can just put the rest of the $20,000 right here, okay? But most employers don't yet have the Roth option. If they don't, you talk to your tax advisor. Hey, how much can my spouse and I put into a Roth IRA? Maybe you can stick in $7,000 to $14,000 into this bucket as well. Who knows? Okay. Maybe your tax advisor says, look, you make too much money. You can't put money into this Roth IRA. Well, then you're going to go with the backdoor Roth IRA. Everybody can do this option. Okay. And then if you're a high earner, and maybe you're not putting in $25,000, maybe you can afford to put more into that plan. You're going to pursue the mega backdoor Roth. This is the order that you do things in. You determine how much you can possibly afford to put into your retirement plan, and you file this order. Now, let's say I'm going to talk about this, and this is where we are doing most of our work. This is what I would call the heavy lifting, okay? This is where you're seeing, hundreds of thousands of dollars of improvement over the lifetime of a retirement because we are doing a Roth conversion. This is highly technical, highly advisable to be working with a team with at least one, if not multiple CPAs in conjunction with your financial planner and all the people that you're working with. This is done in tandem, okay? Now, who's this for? This is for if you are, I'll give you an example. You're 60 years old and you've just been pumping money into your 401k for years, and today you've got $1.5 million sitting there. You've just watched this video and you're like, holy cow, I've got what Chris said is the ticking tax time bomb. Honestly, that's not my terminology. That's Ed Slott's terminology, but he's right. This $1.5 million has never been taxed. This $1.5 million, what's it going to do? It's going to grow. You're going to be taking required minimum distributions when you're 75. This thing here potentially is going to grow for another 15 years. You need to do something right now, and that is the Roth conversion. This is usually done over a 5 to 7 year window, and we usually do this Roth conversion before you start taking your Social Security. It's not too late if you're 60 years old and you've got a bunch of money in your 401k, you've still got this. You can still fix the problem. So I hope this video has been helpful or useful. If it was, do me a favor so videos like this can find more people and help them also. Like this video with a thumbs up and consider subscribing to this channel for more retirement knowledge just like this. I hope you can tell I'm passionate about it. I will leave you with this. If you are retired or near retirement and have already aligned yourself with the fiduciary retirement advisor with the right team of CPAs, CFPs, and CFAs, this video should not be any surprise to you because you've already had the conversation. You've already had the tax minimization plan. But I can't tell you how many people I work with that have come from another advisor who were shocked when I first shared how much they would be paying in taxes and how much they could save by implementing these tax ideas. It really is or can be fairly easy, especially if you're working with a retirement advisor who employs CPAs and also does the person's tax return. I think including the CPAs as an integral part of the retirement planning process is one of the most value-added pieces to the puzzle to bring to the table for retirees. So if you're considering working with a fiduciary who works exclusively with retirees and those near retirement, click the first link at the description, the very top of the description, to learn more about our AIM retirement system. You'll schedule a complimentary one-on-one call to discuss your situation. And on that call, you'll see and decide maybe we're a good fit. Either way, my name is Cyr. I hope we get to see each other again in the next video. Take care.